Good morning students. This is a video for the students of class 8 subject science chapter 10, that is reaching the age of adolescence. It's your lecture number 4. This is your summary lecture. So in this lecture we summarize the complete chapter. Our first topic is adolescence. So what is adolescence? The period of life when the body undergoes changes leading to reproductive maturity is called adolescence. It means, as we know, on crossing the age of 10 or 11 years, there is lot of changes occur in our body, right? Means our body grows up. And this period of life when the body undergoes changes leading to reproductive maturity is called adolescence. It begins around the age of 11 and lasts up to 18 or 19 years of age. Since this period covers the teens, so adolescents are also called teenagers. And in girls, adolescence may begin a year or 2 years earlier than boys. Okay. In girls, the adolescence period is begin year or 2 years earlier than boys. The period of adolescence also varies from person to person. So this is about adolescence. Now the next term is puberty. We have learned that the human body undergoes several changes during adolescence. So puberty is the change happen in the body, and these changes mark the onset of puberty. Puberty is that when a body becomes capable of reproduction, and it ends when an adolescent reaches reproductive maturity. It means we can say that the puberty is the stage when a human body undergoes several changes and capable of reproduction, and it ends when an adolescent reaches reproductive maturity. The most important change which marks puberty is that the boys and girls become capable of reproduction, and this puberty leads to reproductive maturity. Now we will learn about the changes occur at puberty. Let's have a quick glance at the various changes which adolescent individuals go through. So the most significant change that puberty gets with it is the increase in height. Okay, increase in height. During puberty, there is the sudden increase in height, and at this time, the long bones in our body, that is the bones of the arms and legs, get elongated and make a person tall. However, the growth rate in height will be different in individuals. Some may grow suddenly at puberty and then slow down, while others may grow gradually. So the next change is change in body shape. During puberty, the shape of a body is also changed. Like we find that compared to the kids, the boys have broader shoulders, and on the other hand, girls experience widening of the region below the waist, means the region below the waist becomes wider. It means during puberty, the shape of a body is also changed. But in boys, the muscles of the body grow more prominently than in the girls. It means relative to girls, the boys have prominent growth in their muscles. Thus, changes occurring in adolescent boys and girls are different. It's not same. The change occurs in adolescent boys and girls are different. Now the next change is change in voice. Did you notice that when you met a boy after many years, his voice changed? Its reason is increase in the size of larynx. Now the question is, what is larynx? we all are familiar with the term voice box. This is called larynx. Means the voice box is also called larynx. Now, the size of voice box increases during puberty. Means during puberty, the size of voice box increases. The size of larynx increases. And the boys develop larger voice box. And this voice box can be seen as a protruding part of a throat, which is called Adam's apple. Now see this picture. This picture shows the protruding part of the throat, which is called Adam's apple. It is visible in boys, but in girls the larynx is hardly visible from the outside because of its small size. Due to this larger voice box in boys, the voice of boys is deeper than girls, and on the other hand, the girls have high-pitched voice. So this is the reason that there is a difference in the voice of boys and girls. So the girls have a high-pitched voice, whereas boys have a deep voice. Male voice is deep and the female voice is less deep. Now let's move to our next change, that is increased activity of sweat and sebaceous gland. During puberty, the secretion of sweat glands and sebaceous glands increases. These two glands are oil glands, and people get acne and pimples on the face because of the increased activity of glands in the skin. It means during puberty, the persons get acne and pimples on the face because of the increased activity of these two oil glands. So this is also a change which occurs in adolescents at this stage. Next change is development of sex organs. The sex organs also developed at this stage. At puberty, male sex organs like the testes and the penis develop completely, and in girls the ovaries enlarge and the eggs begins to mature. The next change is reaching mental, intellectual and emotional maturity. Adolescence is also a period of change in a person's way of thinking. Means the thinking of a person is also changed at this state. And the intellectual development takes place and the brain has the greatest capacity for learning. Means the person tend to spend their time in thinking. And in this period, the brain has the greatest capacity for learning. Sometimes an adolescent may feel insecure while trying to adjust to the changes in the body and mind. But remember that there is no reason to feel insecure. These changes are a natural part of growing up. So these are the various changes which occurs at puberty. First change is increase in height. Means at puberty there is a sudden increase in height. Second is change in body shape. Third is change in voice. The voice is also changed at puberty. And the next is increased activity of sweat and sebaceous gland. Means the young people get acne and pimples on the face at this time because of the increased activity of sweat and sebaceous glands. Next is development of sex organs. Means the sex organs are also developed at this time. Next is reaching mental, intellectual and emotional maturity. Means at this time the person's way of thinking is also changed and their behavior is also changed. So these are various changes which occurs at puberty. Okay, these are the changes which occurs at puberty. So students, our next topic is secondary sexual characters. So what are secondary sexual characters? The features that help to distinguish the male from the female are called secondary sexual characters. Like, as we already discussed, that there are many changes occur in the body at puberty. Like, the girls begins to develop their breast and the boys begin to grow facial hair. And these features helps to distinguish the male from the female. Means by these features we can distinguish the male from the female. So the features which helps to distinguish the male from the female are called secondary sexual characters. Okay, the features that help to distinguish the male from the female are called secondary sexual characters. And the changes which occur at adolescence are controlled by hormones. But what are hormones? Hormones are the chemical substances which are secreted from endocrine glands or endocrine system. So, what are hormones? I repeat, hormones are chemical substances which are secreted from endocrine glands. The male hormone is testosterone, which is released by the testes at puberty. This causes change in boys. For example, the growth of facial hair. The female hormone is estrogen, which is produced by ovaries and causes change in girls, like the breast of girls develop. Milk secreting glands or mammary glands develop inside the breast. The production of these hormones under the control of another hormone secreted from an endocrine gland, which is called pituitary gland. Role of hormones in initiating reproductive function. Now we will learn what are the role of hormones to initiate the reproductive function. So, the endocrine glands release hormones into the bloodstream to reach a particular body, which is called target site. Now the target site responds to the hormone. And we know there are many endocrine glands in the body. Then the testes and ovaries secrete sex hormones. Further, the sex hormones controlled by hormones from the pituitary gland. The pituitary secretes many hormones, one of which ova mature in the ovaries and sperms form in the testes. Okay, the sperms form in the testes. Can also make a flowchart like this. So, first of all, hormones from pituitary stimulate testes and ovaries to release testosterone. Testosterone is male hormone and estrogen means a female hormone. Then it is released in the bloodstream and reach part of the body, and this part of the body is called target site and stimulate change in the body at the onset of puberty. So this is the role of hormones to initiating the reproductive function. So reproductive phase of life in humans. We all aware by that the adolescents become capable of reproduction when their testes and ovaries begin to produce gametes. The capacity for maturation and production of gametes lasts for a much longer time in males than in females. Means adolescence is physically capable of reproduction, and this reproduction occurs when their testes and ovaries begin to produce gametes, and this production of gametes lasts for much longer time in males than in females. Okay, it lasts much longer time in males than in females. In females, the reproductive phase of life begins at puberty, means 10 to 12 years of age, and generally last till the age of approximately 45 to 50 years. Means the reproductive phase begins at the age of 10 to 12 years and lasts up to 45 to 50 years. And in that time, the ova begin to mature with the onset of puberty. The ova matures at puberty. Okay. The ova begins to mature with the onset of puberty. And the mature ovum takes 28 to 30 days to release by the ovaries. Means one ovum matures and is released by one of the ovaries once in about 28 to 30 days. And during this period, the wall of the uterus becomes thick. The wall of the uterus becomes thick so as to receive the egg. Now there are two possible results depending upon the fertilization of egg. First is, if it is fertilized, then it begins to develop and results in pregnancy. And the second is, if fertilization does not occur, the released egg and the thickened lining of the uterus along with its blood vessels are shed off, and this causes bleeding in women, which is called menstruation. And this bleeding occurs again after about 28 to 30 days. So what happens at puberty? First of all, the ova mature at puberty, and then ovum matures and released by ovaries once in about 28 to 30 days. During this period, the wall of the uterus becomes thick so as to receive the egg, and then there are two possible results depending upon the fertilization of egg. If fertilization occurs, then this results in pregnancy, and if fertilization does not occur, then it results in menstruation. Menstruation occurs once in about 28 to 30 days. The first menstrual flow begins at puberty and is termed as menarche. The menstrual cycle stops at 45 to 50 years. So what is menarche? Actually, it is the first menstrual flow begins at puberty and it stops, means this menstrual cycle stops at 45 to 50 years. It begins at puberty and stops at the age of 45 to 50 years. And this stoppage of menstruation is termed as menopause. Okay, this stoppage of menstruation is termed as menopause. So what is menarche? It is the first menstrual flow begins at puberty. And what is menopause? It is the stoppage of menstruation. Okay, the stoppage of menstruation is termed as menopause. Till now, we have learned about two new terms. That is, first is menarche and the second is menopause. So, students, what is menarche? It is the first menstrual flow begins at puberty. And what is menopause? It is the stoppage of menstruation. The stoppage of menstruation is termed as menopause. Initially, the menstrual cycle may be irregular and it takes some time to become regular. Okay, it takes some time to become regular. Means after some time, the menstrual cycle become regular. So this is all about reproductive phase of life in human. Let's move to our next topic, that is determination of the sex of a baby. Now the question is, how can we determine the sex of a baby? How is the sex of a baby determined? So students, now we will learn that how can we determine the sex of a baby. Determination of sex of a child. The sex of a child is determined by the sex chromosome. Now the question is, what are chromosomes? Chromosomes are the thread-like structures present inside the nucleus of every cell. Okay, these are the thread-like structure present inside the nucleus of every cell. Actually, there are many chromosomes present inside the nucleus of the cell. All human beings have 23 pair of chromosomes in the nuclei of their cells. Out of these, 2 chromosomes are the sex chromosomes named X and Y, and these sex chromosomes determine the sex of a child. The sex of the child is determined by the sex chromosome, which is named as X and Y. A female has 2 X chromosomes while a male has 1 X and Y chromosomes. The gametes, egg and sperm. Egg is the female gamete and sperm is the male gametes. Have only one set of chromosomes. Okay, there is a set of chromosomes. And the unfertilized egg means the female gamete always have 1 X chromosome, but the sperm are of 2 kinds. Means the male gametes are of 2 kinds. One kind has an X chromosome and the other kind has a Y chromosome. When a sperm containing X chromosome fertilizes the egg, then the zygote would have 2 X chromosomes. Okay, the zygote would have 2 X chromosomes, and these 2 X chromosomes combine together to develop a female child. Means the 2 X chromosomes develop into a female child. Means the 2 X chromosomes combine together to form a female child means a girl. So the girl has 2 X chromosomes. Means if there are 2 X chromosomes, then the zygote would develop into a female child means a girl. So in this way, the sex chromosomes helps to determine the sex of a child. Here you can see the sperm is of X chromosome and the egg has also X chromosome, and the zygote would develop into a girl child. Now the zygote have X chromosome, and if this time a sperm containing Y chromosome fertilizes the egg, then zygote would develop into a male child. Okay, it means if there is a 1 X chromosome and other is Y chromosome, then the zygote would develop into a male child means a boy. Here you can see in this picture that the sperms are of 2 kinds. One kind has X chromosome and the other kind has a Y chromosome. And on the other hand, the female has 2 X chromosomes. And when a sperm containing Y chromosomes fertilizes the egg, then the zygote would develop into a male child, means a boy. So if there is 1 X chromosome and other is Y chromosome, then this XY chromosomes develop into a male child. And similarly, if the sperm containing Y chromosome fertilizes the egg, then the zygote would develop into a female child, means into a girl. So if there are 2 X chromosomes, then these 2 X chromosomes combine together to form a female child, means a girl. So in this way, the sex chromosomes helps to determine the sex of a child. So from this discussion, we conclude that the sex chromosomes of the father determine the sex of an unborn baby. The belief that the mother is responsible for the sex of her baby is completely wrong. It is wrong. The sex chromosome of the father determines the sex of an unborn baby. Now the next topic is hormones other than sex hormones. We have already learned that the pituitary gland is an endocrine gland. Apart from the pituitary gland, there are other endocrine glands in the body. There are other endocrine glands also which is in our body. Let's know about them. Apart from pituitary gland, there are other endocrine glands also which is on our body, such as these are some endocrine glands. This table shows some endocrine glands and the hormone secreted by these glands. So the first gland is testes, which secrete a hormone testosterone. Next is ovaries, which secrete a hormone estrogen. Pancreas secrete a hormone insulin. Thyroid secrete a hormone thyroxine. The hormone secreted by thyroid is thyroxine. And the adrenal gland secrete adrenaline hormone. Okay, the adrenal glands produce the hormone named adrenaline, and these hormones help the body to adjust to stress when one is very angry, when the person is very angry or worried for some reason. The thyroid and adrenal secrete their hormones when they receive orders from the pituitary glands through its hormones. Okay, the thyroid and adrenals secrete their hormone when they receive order from pituitary. Pituitary also secrete growth hormone. Actually, pituitary secrete many hormones, and one of them is growth hormone, which is necessary for the normal growth of a person. A person suffers from a disease called goiter if thyroid gland does not produce the hormone thyroxine. It means when these glands not produces their hormone, then a person suffers from many diseases. And a disease called goiter is caused by when the thyroid gland is not secrete the hormone thyroxine. So the disease caused by the deficiency of thyroxine is goiter. And if pancreas does not produce the hormone insulin, we have learned that the pancreas secrete a hormone insulin. But what happens when the pancreas does not produce the hormone insulin? So when pancreas does not produce the hormone insulin, then person suffers from a disease called diabetes. Okay, the person suffers from a disease diabetes. Now this picture shows the position of endocrine glands in the human body. You can see the pituitary gland is attached to the brain, and the thyroid gland is in our throat. The thyroid gland is present in our throat. This picture shows the position of various endocrine glands like the adrenal glands, pancreas, position of the ovary in the female, and testes. So from this picture you can get information about that where the endocrine glands is present in the human body. So we have learned that there are many endocrine glands are in our body, that are pituitary gland, second is thyroid gland, third is adrenal gland, pancreas, ovaries, and testes. Role of hormones in completing the life. History of insects and frogs. Picture shows the life cycle of silk moth. We have already learned about the life history of silk moth and the frog. And we know that the caterpillar has to pass through various stages to become an adult moth. So, how an adult moth is developed? In this, the first stage of the life cycle of silkworm is an egg. Okay. the first stage is an egg, and the egg is laid by a female moth, and it lays more than 350 eggs at a time. And after that, the growth of silkworm starts, means larva is formed, and in this stage the silkworm spin a protective cocoon around itself, and then pupa stage is formed, and after that this pupa changes into an adult moth, means a adult moth is developed, and in this way this female moth lays egg, means the female moth again lays egg, and this cycle continues. So here we can see that the caterpillar has to pass through various stages to become an adult moth. Similarly, the tadpole passes through certain stages to become a frog. Like in first stage, the tiny frog's eggs are laid in masses in the water by a female frog, and then the eggs hatches into tadpoles, and then tadpoles sprouts legs and has a longer body, and then a young frog is developed, and in this stage the almost mature frog breathes with lungs and still has some of its tail, and after that a adult frog is developed. The adult frog breathes with lungs and has no tails. Means the tadpole passes through certain stages to become a frog, and this change from larva to adult is called metamorphosis. Okay, this change is called metamorphosis, and metamorphosis in insects is controlled by a hormone which is called insect hormone. So I repeat, the change from larva to adult is called metamorphosis. It is a very important term. Okay, so what is metamorphosis? The change from larva to adult is called metamorphosis, and metamorphosis in insects is controlled by insect hormone. In a frog, metamorphosis is controlled by thyroxine hormone, means a hormone which is produced by thyroid. In the previous lecture we have learned that the thyroxine hormone is secreted by a thyroid gland. Remember? So in a frog the metamorphosis is controlled by thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine production requires the presence of iodine water, means the thyroxine hormones is produced only when there is a presence of iodine water. If there is no iodine water, then the thyroxine hormone cannot produce. So if the water in which the tadpoles are growing does not contain sufficient iodine, then the tadpoles cannot become adults. Okay, this is the reason that water contains sufficient iodine, because if there is no presence of iodine, then the tadpoles cannot become adults. So I repeat, thyroxine production requires the presence of iodine water, and if the water in which the tadpoles are growing does not contain sufficient iodine, the tadpoles cannot become adults. In this topic, we have learned that what are the role of hormones in completing the life of insects and frogs. Now our next topic is reproductive health. A person is said to be healthy if he or she is physically and mentally fit. And as the body grows during adolescence, it is very important to be healthy. To keep the body healthy, every human being at any stage needs to have a balanced diet. Okay, every human being needs a balanced diet. A person must also observe personal hygiene and undertake proper physical exercise. During adolescence, these become even more essential as the body is growing. So now we discuss that how can we keep our body healthy. So first is nutritional needs of adolescents. Adolescence is a stage of rapid growth and development, and an adolescent needs to eat a healthy and balanced diet. The diet should include protein, carbohydrate, fats, minerals and vitamins in correct proportions. It is essential to eat rice, pulses, vegetables. Milk should also be included in the daily diet as it is considered a complete food in itself. Okay, so milk should also be included. Fruits and green vegetables are a rich source of vitamins and minerals. So we should eat fruits and green vegetables. And the iron rich food like green leafy vegetables are also essential because iron is required for the formation of blood in our body. There are 5 types of nutrients: carbohydrates, fats, protein, vitamins, minerals. So our diet should include these proteins, okay, in correct proportion. Remember that we should avoid junk food like chips and packed or tin snacks because they do not have adequate nutritional value. Thus, they are not a replacement to regular meals. Next is personal hygiene. The body of adolescents becomes smelly due to increased activity of sweat glands. So, it is important to have a bath at least once daily. There are chances of bacterial infection if cleanliness is not maintained. It means for a teenager, it becomes more essential to take care of the body. The body of adolescents becomes smelly due to increased activity of sweat glands. That's why it is important to have a bath at least once daily. And all the body parts should be washed and cleaned well. Because if we do not wash our body parts daily, then there are chances of bacterial infection. Okay? If we do not wash our body parts, then there are chances of bacterial infection. So, cleanliness should be maintained. And the girls need to take special care about personal hygiene during the time of menstrual flow. Okay, the girls need special care about personal hygiene during the time of menstrual flow. So, I repeat that the body of adolescents becomes smelly due to increased activity of sweat gland. So, it is important to have a bath at least once daily. Means all the body parts should be washed and cleaned well. Now the next way to keep our body fit is by doing physical exercise. Doing physical exercise is one of the best way to keep our body fit. Teenagers must take walk and exercise regularly. Okay, means doing physical exercise is the best way to keep our body fit. And the teenagers must do exercise regularly. They should play outdoor games instead of spending all their time on internet and other indoor activities. So this is the way by which we keep our body fit. Next way is keep away from drugs. Means say no to drugs. So what are drugs? Drugs are chemical substances that produce many changes in the physical, mental, behavioral and emotional setup of an individual. If a person take them once, then he or she feel like taking them again and again. And they harm our body and ruin both health and happiness. Means, we know that it is normal for adolescents to feel confused and insecure. But remember, it is a normal part of growing up. If anybody suggests that you should take drugs to get relief, then say no. Because the drugs are harmful for our body and it produces many changes in the physical, mental, behavioral and emotional setup of a person. And the drugs are addictive. Okay, the drugs are addictive. Means if a person take them once, then he or she feel like taking them again and again. And it also harmful for our health and also ruin our happiness. So we should keep away from drugs. So what we have learned, that we should take proper amount of nutrients like carbohydrates, protein, vitamins, minerals, fats. Okay. And the second is personal hygiene. Means we should wash our body parts daily, means every day. Because if we don't do this, then there are chances of bacterial infection. Okay. And the other is physical exercise. Means by doing physical exercise, we keep our body fit. So it is very important for the teenagers to do exercise. And the next is keep away from drugs because it harmful for our body. Say no to drugs. We should not use drugs. These are some ways to keep our body healthy. So students, there are some myths and taboos related to menstruation and the body changes that adolescents experience. And some of the myths are given below. Menstruation is a curse. A girl becomes pregnant by looking at boys during menstruation. A girl should not be allowed to work in the kitchen during menstruation. So students, these are wrong notions. It never happens. So we should discard them. We should discard these myths. Dear students, I will be giving you 3 assignments of this chapter number 10. This is your assignment number 1 and it is also on your EdQuar website. Question number 1 is multiple choice question. A part is, which of the following changes takes place during adolescence? First option is growth spurt. Second option, aggression. Third option is sense of independence. Fourth option is development of secondary sexual characters. Last option is change in hormones and or their levels. B part. Which of the following is or are true about the growth spurt in humans? First option is, during growth spurt, rate of increases in height remains the same as in previous years. Second option, during growth spurt, the nutrients requirement, particularly of protein, calcium and iron. Third option is, deficiency of nutrients results in retarded growth. Fourth option is, the final height at maturity is only genetically determined. Last option is none of the above. Question number 2. Fill in the blanks. A part is dash and dash are sex hormones secreted by ovaries. B part, frequent mood swings are common in. You have to fill these blanks. Question number 3. True or false? A part is the reproductive phase in girls begins at the age of 10 to 12 years. B part is the change occur at adolescence are controlled by hormones. Right? True or false? This statement is true or false. In third question, you have to write that these statements are true or false, and in second question, you have to fill these blanks. Okay. Fourth question, very short answer type question. Means these are the one word answers question, or you have to write the answer in one sentence. A part is name the sex hormone of male. B part, name the hormone secreted by ovaries. C part is define puberty. Question number 5. Define secondary sexual characters and list 2 secondary sexual characters seen in boys and girls. I repeat, question number 5 is define secondary sexual characters and list 2 secondary sexual characters seen in boys and girls. So students, this is your homework.